For today's video, we are back on the PC. Hopefully we don't get any surprise pop-ups like we did in yesterday's video, but nonetheless we are on Tier Maker, and this is NHL number 2 overall draft pick since 2000 tier list maker. So you have Hall of Fame talent, top line contributor, good but not worth the pick, flat out bust, and too soon to judge. So it has all the guys here. Obviously it doesn't have Capo Caco because that would just be way too soon because he's yet to play a regular season NHL game. But without wasting any more time, let's get right into it. And I think I'm just going to put Svechnikov and Nolan Patrick in too soon to judge right away. Nolan Patrick, it's seeming like he's heading towards this kind of area, and Andrei Svechnikov probably up here, but again, it's too soon to judge in my opinion. We're going to move this out of the way. Hopefully nothing else pops up. Yeah, as you guys can see, I get pop-ups on my PC all the time, but now we're moving along, and we're going to go back and start from the bottom now with Danny Heatley. And Danny Heatley, I'm going to say he was a top-line contributor. He had many very good seasons. Obviously, he is out of the league now, but he was a 50-goal scorer in back-to-back years. I definitely think he is a top-line contributor. Not a Hall of Fame talent, but still a very good player. Moving on to Jason Spezza, I think I'm also going to put him here. I don't really think he's en route to being a Hall of Fame player, but he was fantastic throughout his entire career with the Ottawa Senators, had a couple decent years in Dallas, and now we're going to be able to see what he can do with the Toronto Maple Leafs over this next year. Maybe he can compete for a Stanley Cup, and you never know, if he does win that Stanley Cup, then that definitely could, push him up way more towards Hall of Fame talent. Moving on now, we have Kari Lehtonen. I'm going to say good but not worth the pick because he was a solid NHL goaltender, but definitely not one that you would think, oh yeah, he was definitely like a top pick and one of the top goalies in the league. So I think I'm going to put him there. I'm not going to call him a flat out bust because he had a lengthy and decent career, but definitely not worth the pick. Eric Staal, I'm going to put him up here as well. Definitely a fantastic player over the course of his career. And also he is definitely a guy who could be pushing Hall of Fame talent because he has won a Stanley Cup, has had numerous really good seasons in the NHL, arguably the best player in franchise history for the Carolina Hurricanes. So Eric Staal is definitely fantastic and has had a great career. Evgeni Malkin, he is going to be the first player up in Hall of Fame talent. Definitely probably would be more regarded as one of the top players that we've ever seen if he didn't play in the shadow of Sidney Crosby, but still an amazing player, has won multiple Stanley Cups, a huge part of why Pittsburgh was such a dominant team. So in my opinion, he is definitely a Hall of Fame talent. Moving on to Bobbie Ryan, I'm going to say good but not worth the pick. Maybe if he hasn't, kind of fallen off and he never even went to the Ottawa Senators, he would be up here because when he was with the Anaheim Ducks, he was amazing. He was one of the more fun players to watch in the NHL. It seemed like every other week he was in the highlight reel and in the Sports Center top 10 or highlight of the night for one of his amazing goals, but hasn't been so good for Ottawa and is now kind of regarded as one of the worst contracts in the NHL. So yeah, he's had a good career, but definitely not worth the pick. Moving on now to Jordan Staal, I think I'm going to put him here as well because he's never really been a solid, bona fide, good number one center. I always saw him as more of like a 2-3 center, and now in Carolina, Sebastian Aho is the number one guy, and you're probably going to have Jordan Staal on that second line, and again, still a very good player and has had a good career, but I don't really think he was worth that second overall pick. And moving on now to James Van Riemsdyk, I'm kind of teetering between the two. And I think I'm going to put him here because this is kind of difficult. Like, I want to put him up here because he's been so solid. 30-goal scorer on multiple occasions, was very good for Toronto, and now obviously is back as a member of the Philadelphia Flyers, the team that drafted him. I think I'm going to settle with him here for now. I might change it later, but JVR is another guy who has been very solid, but I'm not quite sure if he's like worth the number 2 pick, if that makes sense. Moving along now, we have Drew Doughty of the LA Kings, and I'm going to put him as a Hall of Fame talent. He's definitely not the player he was, in his prime. He's kind of fell off the past 2 years, but I definitely think he's more than capable of bouncing back and still being one of the top defensemen in the NHL. His massive contract extension with the LA Kings has kicked in, so he is going to have to step it up, and it's going to be really tough for him because he's a player that most likely wants to win now, but LA is kind of in a situation where they're heading towards a rebuild, so I don't really know what the future holds for Drew Doughty, but over what he's done so far, and what I still think he can do, because he is only like 29 or 30, I think he could be up here by the end of his career, and I think he will be. be. And now moving on now to Victor Hedman, and this is kind of hard because he hasn't been in the NHL for too long, but he's won a Norris Trophy. He's been very good. I think he'll probably win a Stanley Cup with this Tampa Bay core before his career does come to an end, and I think I'm actually going to put him up there as Hall of Fame talent. I think these three guys are on another level from anyone else in this list so far, so I think that's what I'm going to settle with. And then we have Tyler Seguin, definitely a top line contributor. Ever since being traded from the Boston Bruins to the Dallas Stars, he has blossomed into a star caliber player in the NHL, and to this day is probably the best offensive player on that Dallas team, and he has some good players with him as well. You have Radulov, Ben. They just brought in Joe Pavelski. I made a video talking about Dallas and asking the question if they are Stanley Cup contenders for this upcoming season. Go check that out if you have not already. But Tyler Seguin, definitely a top line contributor, and I think same goes for Gabe Landeskog. He was definitely an underrated part of that Colorado top line this past season. He's the physical part of that line. He goes in the corners, gets the puck, and feeds it out so Mika Rantanen and Nathan MacKinnon can go to work. Definitely an overlooked player in the league and 100% a top line contributor in my opinion. And then we have Ryan Murray. I'm not going to call him a flat out bust. Oh, there it is again. No, Linda, I'm not interested. But Ryan Murray, nonetheless, a good player, but definitely not worth the number 2 overall pick. So I think that's where I'm going to keep him. I feel like if there was another one, he probably would have been in between, but he is a top 4 defenseman, and yeah, he's been a good player. And now we have Alex Barkov, and it really is kind of too soon to judge for him. I feel like I want to put him here right now, but he definitely has the potential to jump up here because I feel like he'll probably potentially win a Hart Trophy in his career. I think he's that good. Definitely win some Selke trophies, and now this Florida team is probably going to be very good that they have Sergei Bobrovsky in net, so I think he can do some damage as far as team success goes as well. So right now, I'm going to put him at top line contributor, but he really is, teetering up there, and I think when it's all said and done, when his career does come to an end, I think he probably will be up there as a Hall of Fame talent. Moving on to Sam Reinhart. I want to put him at top line contributor because he was a part of that top line in Buffalo last year with Jeff Skinner and Jack Eichel that did super well. So I think I'm going to put him there, and he's another guy. It took a little bit longer for him to come into his own at an NHL level, but this past season he definitely did, was a 60-plus point guy, so I think he is a top line contributor. Jack Eichel, I'm going to put him as a top line contributor as well because he's really, still really young, has yet to really blossom into a superstar caliber player. I think that season is coming, maybe this year, maybe the following year. You never know, but Jack Eichel, I only think it's a matter of time before he really breaks out and has like a 95 to 100 point season. And when he does that, I think he'll probably, teetering up there. And when his career does come to an end, he very well could be up there with the likes of Headsman, Doughty, and Malkin. And now finishing out the video with the ever so controversial Patrik Laine, and I'm going to put him as a top line contributor as well. And he's another guy who definitely has the potential to be up here. If he continued on the path that he was on after his first 2 NHL seasons, and he didn't just have, kind of the down year that he just had in this past year, he probably, would be up around here for me. But just because he just had that down year, and everyone really doesn't know what his future holds right now in terms of his contract, and with Winnipeg, no Linda, get out of here. Yeah, I don't really know what the future holds for him. So I think I'm going to put him as a top line contributor. So that about wraps it up. I'm going to go over this now and take a little bit of a break here and adjust things if I want to make any changes. So I'll get back to you guys. Okay, so I made one adjustment. I moved Sam Reinhart down to good but not worth the pick because I feel like it is too early to put him up with some of these guys. Laine has already had a 40-goal season, has been very good over his first 3 years, even including this down year that he just had, and I just feel like I can't really put Sam Reinhart up here with some of those guys. And you never know, I think Sam Reinhart, if he continues to get better and builds off last season, he definitely will be up here, but for right now, I'm going to put him at good but not worth the picks. So that is going to wrap up today's video. I really hope you guys did enjoy, and like I said, while actually doing it, if you guys want me to turn this into a series and do the number 1 overall picks, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, all the way down to 10, make sure to let me know down in the comment section below because I would gladly do it. These videos are always super fun to make. They're more chill, they're more relaxed, and I definitely enjoy them, and hopefully you guys enjoy them too. And also, like I said in many different occasions on the channel, if you do become a patron before the end of the month, you will be in a fantasy hockey league with me and some other subscribers. That time is kind of running out, and right now I believe we have 8 patrons, and there is about 12 spots in the fantasy league, so if we don't fill all those up, keep an eye out on the community tab because I will be choosing some of you randomly over on the community tab to come into the fantasy hockey Hockey League with us as well. So that definitely should be pretty exciting. And like I said in the video as well, this will be linked down in the description so you guys can make your own tier list if you disagree with mine. And then tweet me a picture at it. You can follow me on Twitter. The link to that will be down in the description below. You can also follow me on Instagram, and you can subscribe to my NHL 20 gaming channel. Haven't been posting too much on there. It is pretty inconsistent, but again, my main focus is on this channel and continuing to upload daily content. But I will try to upload more consistently on that channel and while still uploading daily on this channel. But I'm really pumped for the season to start. There definitely will be lots more topics to talk about, and I just have a lot of really cool things planned for when the season does actually start. So I hope you guys are excited as I am. And with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you did enjoy, please make sure to drop a like on it and subscribe to the channel for daily NHL content, and I will see you guys all in the next video.